welcome to Lexington, Kentucky as we wrap up a busy and exciting first night of NCAA first round tournament action here for the 2019 Division III Women's Basketball Tournament. Final game of the night goes to Transylvania as they defeat Piedmont 77-67. The Pioneers built a big double-digit lead before Piedmont made things interesting in the fourth quarter. The Pioneers executed down the stretch and hit all 10 free throws they attempted in the fourth quarter to pull out the victory. A big night from Shelby Boyle, and she is on the days along with head coach Juli Fulks as well as junior Ashton Woodard, another impactful player in this game tonight. We'll begin the press conference with the opening statement from head coach Juli Fulks.
Well, I thought you just made a really good point. Going 10-10 down the stretch really mattered. They made a really good run. They increased the pressure, and I thought, they put us in a place where we were kind of on our heels for a few minutes. And when they do that, and you pick up some of those fouls because of the increased pressure, you need to be able to execute. And that is something that this group has been doing for years, and they've hit a ton of key free throws. And so I always feel good when we get in those moments because I know that they're going to come after us, and we have so many people who can step up. And they kind of have ice in their veins and always make those. So that's a good thing as a coach when you know you can fall back on free throw shooting. And being 24 of 28 for the game tonight, that really mattered, especially because, it was physical and there were a lot of fouls called. And so I thought that was something that really helped the game swing in our favor.
Shelby, obviously it's hard to discount the impact you had tonight. This was your NCAA tournament debut along with Ashton and the rest of your teammates. First appearance for the Pioneers in 4 years in the NCAA tournament. You finished off with 22 points, 11 rebounds, 9 for 12. Very efficient night from the field. What were you seeing out there that made scoring appear to be so easy?
Honestly, I just think we did a really good job of moving on offense. That's one thing we pride ourselves on, is try to keep moving, and when we do, wide open looks come open, and tonight just happened to be my night that I was wide open, but as we've seen throughout the season, it can be Celia, it can be Ashton, it can be Kristen, it can be just about anybody, so I think honestly it was just my night to be wide open.
Ashton, this is the first time in a long time that the Pioneers have seen a different opponent than typically the kind of styles and defenses that they bring at you in the HCAC within conference play. What did you see that Piedmont brought from the press tonight, and how do you think you guys attacked that and responded to it?
Well, I thought they were extremely aggressive, and which Coach Fulks warned us about, that they like to run and jump. And I feel like after we gained our composure, we worked together really well and just kept coming to the ball and got across half court and cut down on turnovers.
We saw a lot of highlight reel plays, particularly in the first half on the south end of the floor. There was a notable play by you that spooked oohs and ahs from the crowd where you switched hands on the dribble. What was working in the mid-range? Did you see more openings more often than usual tonight against that defense to open up the night?
Yeah, I feel like I guess when I drove, they jumped more to my right hand. I guess I just was able to get back to my left and get to the rim, be aggressive. That's what we're always told to do.
It brought some new challenges about Juli of seeing what feels like for the first time in a long time a real, consistent, continual full court press. What do you think challenged your team in the fourth quarter, and what did you guys learn overall from that different kind of defensive look tonight?
Yeah, I thought in the first half, kind of what she talked about, there was a ton of pressure on the perimeter. And so if we could get the first advantage, we were getting really good looks at the rim. But I thought they did a great job. They made some really good adjustments in the second half. They were staying home on the low post. And so when we got in there, we didn't have that easy dish. And then the press in the fourth quarter, desperation, I think, always makes presses better. You gamble more, you're fouling a little bit more. They don't always get called. And they had hit that point where it's just everybody selling out. And I thought it took us a few minutes to get composure. I've never been one to quick to call timeouts. This is an upperclassmen group. They know what they're doing. And sometimes there's a few mistakes, but we want to, at the end of the day, I have a lot of trust and faith in them. And so, we know they're going to be able to figure it out, and there may be some bumps in the road, but they always respond. And I think that's a really important strength of theirs.
It seemed like tonight there were some big-time contributions for each of their bigs. Everybody obviously had a great game, but there were some major moments from Elizabeth Hardiman as well as Miranda Otero. Can you speak to what they each brought on an individual basis to this game?
Yeah, we go into every game and we know we can play bigger, smaller, and we have a lot of options. And at the beginning of the game, they scored really well, and so we switched to one of our bigger zones. And Miranda and Ebeth, they've really come a long way this year in understanding how to clog up the middle, how to handle driving coming their way, and then rebound out of it. And so I thought that mattered a lot that we were able to get those possessions from them on defense. It let us handle things. You know, every time we went man, I think they got a layup at the rim, it felt like. And so it let us stay in zone. And then, Ebeth had a great night at the rim on offense. You know, she had some really good looks, and I thought she battled for position low and really fought. And so, down there, half the battle is just getting the right position and the right read, and I thought she worked really hard at that tonight.
Shelby, this NCAA tournament appearance is a goal that you've been working towards for the last 3 years, some of your teammates their entire careers. You finally crossed over into the NCAA tournament. Can you describe what the feel's like and how it differs from the first 27 games of the season?
Honestly, I mean, it helps being here at the Beck Center that it almost feels like another game, but I think we have worked so hard to get here that we try not to let it not go to our heads, but be too nervous or be too excited. I mean, we're used to kind of readjusting. We came off of last week super excited and kind of had to calm ourselves down and realize there's more basketball to be played. So I think really we just continue to have the attitude that we had during the season, next one up. I mean, we take it one game at a time, and that's what we did today, and that's really what we've done the entire season.
Finally, this is, I believe, the first time this season where for consecutive weeks you will play an opponent on back-to-back nights. You now look ahead to that second round matchup with Oglethorpe. What's that like, that turnaround, and how will you approach that game mentally, preparation-wise, for Oglethorpe tomorrow?
Coach Fulks does a really good job scheduling that we always have a quick turnaround at some point in the season. This year it was in Washington, D.C., so I think a couple years now we've been getting adjusted to the quick turnaround, but it's really just go home, get rest, and come back tomorrow ready with a fresh mind and ready to learn everything there is to learn about Oglethorpe.
All right, well, we see you guys tomorrow. Final score once again in the first round, Transylvania with the 77-67 victory against Piedmont. It sets the stage for a second round NCAA tournament matchup tomorrow here at the Beck Center, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. The Pioneers will square off with the Oglethorpe Stormy Petrels for a trip to the Sweet 16. We'll see you then.